All right, here we are at the Averasboro, some say Averasboro battlefield, and I am psyched to be here and to talk about the 160th anniversary of this important battle that preceded the Battle of Bentonville, that's after the Battle of Monroe's Crossroads, and is part of General Sherman's Carolinas campaign, marching up from Savannah and environs after the March to the Sea. Here we go. It is March of 1865. As I said, Sherman already marched to the sea. He's moving through the Carolinas, goes through Columbia. He keeps making feints and whatnot, so as to not let his true intentions be known. I'm not sure how much trouble he has to go to because the Confederates have not given him a serious check. Really, since he'd even left Atlanta, the Southerners just are spread too thin at this point by the end of the war. And right away, when Joseph E. Johnston is put in command of and in charge and charged with slowing down William T. Sherman in March of 1865, for all the good it'll do him. I mean, Lee is, hoping he can join up with Johnston. And at the same time, General Grant is petrified that he will join up with Johnston. Lee is petrified that General Sherman will come north and just completely overwhelm any prospects he has around Richmond and Petersburg. So Johnston starts gathering his forces. He's going to gather the Army of Tennessee. He's going to get Robert Hoke and other commanders. It's like a who's who over here of some of the Confederate generals who are left. You've got Bragg, you've got McLaws, you've got Tolliver, you've got Hardee, you've got a lot of people, including D.H. Hill coming, but they need time to get together, and William Hardee is charged with slowing down the Union forces as they're coming up this road. See, Sherman has 4 corps under 2 wing commanders. Henry Warner Slocum has 2 corps coming toward us this way, and Oliver Otis Howard has 2 corps going over toward Goldsboro, Smithfield, and stuff like that. And that way the Confederates can't get a good beat on it. But maybe Hardee can slow down Slocum for a while. Maybe Hardee can then join Johnston at the battle of near Bentonville, and they can fall upon Slocum's portion of that wing, at least so their intelligence tells them. And that's going to set up this battle called Averasboro. I am looking generally south here. The Cape Fear River is off on my right, and there's some terrible terrain and ravines over in those woods there on land preserved by the American Battlefield Trust. Almost 600 acres preserved here at Averasboro, and we have some great partners here at the Averasboro Battlefield Museum. The Black River is off in that direction, and Hardee's going to take an old tactic, something used at the Battle of Cowpens, used at the Battle of Guilford Courthouse. He's going to set up 3 lines, with one line, the strongest, over here under Lafayette McLaws. I'm saying it's a division, but at this point in the war, these are not full-size 7,000-man divisions. You're lucky if they're 4,000. Then he's going to have sort of Tolliver's division on a second line beyond this tree line and that structure you see over there, right near what's called Chicora Cemetery. And then a third line consisting just of a brigade further up, designed to slow down and stack up on the enemy. This is, there's going to be some skirmishing about a couple miles down the road between Wheeler's cavalry and Judson Kilpatrick's cavalry, and they're going to fight down that way. And by March 16th, General Sherman is on line here, and he's going to start ordering the troops forward. And eventually, the Union will have 2 corps here against 1 Confederate division, but it's going to take them a while to get up. Eventually, the Union is able to outflank the first line. Some Union soldiers sneak up upon and burst out of the woods upon the flank of the Confederates, some South Carolinians. That's Rhett's South Carolina Brigade. They're going to fall back upon more of Tolliver's troops, Elliott and others, and they're going to make a second stand maybe in some of the lone trees you might be able to see off in the distance. Beyond this first tree here, you might see some other trees sticking up. That's about the Confederate second line. It's going to get more intense there. Judson Kilpatrick launches sort of a charge, but some Georgians push him back on the left side, closer to the Black River over there. In the meantime, the Union is pushing in front, and eventually they're going to force the Confederates back to their third line. And now you've got the full weight of Tolliver on this side of the road and McLaws on that side of the road, and all of a sudden you have 2 Confederate divisions here forming Hardee's corps. And while the Union has a lot of soldiers, it's starting to rain. The ground here is very soft. It's going to be hard to move the artillery around. Some guns are captured because the Confederates can't remove them. And eventually the Union comes up and sends Van Dever's brigade over that way to try to outflank the Confederate line over near the Cape Fear River. And you've got Wheeler's cavalry over there. You've got Confederates strongly posted on the other side of a ravine. 13, and it is not happening for Van Devers' men. And by now, the drizzle that had been happening a lot of the day turns into rain, turns into a straight-up downpour, deluges the place, and the battle really devolves into just skirmishing around here until, once it's dark, Hardee is going to move out and eventually move towards Smithfield and hook up with Joseph E. Johnston, and thither goes, I always love using my old 18th century, early 19th century speak, thither goes Henry Warner Slocum, hoping to connect with Howard over near Goldsboro, and that's going to result in the Battle of Bentonville, the largest battle ever fought in North Carolina. So I think you should come out here for the 160th before or after and check out the cemetery. You can, in a car, see some good pull-offs where they have the first Confederate line pretty well interpreted. And I will say that in this little building here, you're going to go there, and I think you're going to find more relics than you expect from this campaign, many from this specific battle. You're almost always met with a really friendly staff over there. You can check out this battlefield and do it in concert with the battlefield of Bentonville, about 35 or 40 minutes away from here. There's lots more to see around here, and of course, not the least of which is over at Durham, North Carolina, Bennett's Place. So thanks for watching. I hope you can make it out to Averasboro or Averasboro, and we really appreciate everything you do to support battlefield education and preservation.
Hello, this is Trace Atkins. To stay up to date on all the latest and coolest videos, please subscribe to the Trust YouTube channel. Preserve, educate, inspire.